Hello, this is a Brave Knight Mercenary spotlight on Seto. Seto is a legendary warrior with insane survivability and has the ability to do fixed damage on both his normal attack and with his unique counter. He's a very sticky unit and can easily pick apart an entire team by himself if he's not properly answered. I'll briefly go over his skills, gameplay style, and provide some of my opinions on him. I won't be going over the details of his skills, but just the general parts of it. I linked the Brave Knight Encyclopedia in the video description, where you can easily read on the stats and skill values. Seto's first skill is Raging Strike. This has Seto deal fixed additional damage to his enemy on regular attacks. The fixed damage bonus scales off of his attack stat. At +6 and onwards, he will also heal his health if he kills an enemy with his regular attack. Being able to deal fixed damage is very powerful, as fixed damage ignores defense and damage reduction. Seto's second skill is Permanent Fire Counter. Seto will inflict fixed damage back at his attacker that scales off of his attack stat. The counter also applies a burn onto his enemies that scales off of his attack stat. Seto's third skill is Flame Guard, and is also his most mechanically complex skill. Flame Guard provides Seto with debuff immunity, but also prevents him from receiving buffs. Each incoming damage source will inflict a percentage of his max life, regardless of how much damage the attack does. It doesn't matter if the attack could have killed Seto or deal 0 damage, he will always take a percentage of his max life. The reason why the skill is worded as incoming damage is because the Flame Guard accounts for all damage sources and separates regular attacks from additional damage. If a unit attacking Seto has an additional damage component on their attack, they will trigger 2 ticks of Flame Guard instead of 1. Let me explain with an example. I'm going against Campaign Seto. This Seto has a Flame Guard where he will only take 30% of his max life per damage source. I open with Elijah, who has no additional damage ability in her skill set. She only takes off 30% of his life as a result. However, the Eden that follows up afterwards has an additional damage component on his second skill. Seto's Flame Guard counts Eden's regular attack and additional damage as 2 separate damage sources, causing Eden's singular attack to trigger 2 instances of Flame Guard. Because Seto's Flame Guard activated twice, Seto ends up losing 60% of his life in this one attack. Since Seto now has lost 90% of his life, the next attack will guarantee kill him, as he cannot endure another 30% penalty from Flame Guard. Seto's Awakening skill is Permanent Swiftness. At the beginning of the battle, he gains 150% bonus attack percentage based on his agility. Since his agility is at base 65%, he gains around 100% attack, but this could be increased if he has runes with agility substats. Seto's gameplay is best described as a very sticky threat. His role is to act as a very dangerous lane roadblock that slowly picks apart the enemy formation. Because both his counter and his regular attack deals fixed damage, he's very good at taking out 100% defense units, which are not known to have very high life. Because of his Flame Guard, he's rarely killed off early. He can take down many units with his counter before he ends up biting the dust. If he successfully kills a unit, he can recover his life and continue to wreak havoc. Seto's main weakness is that he cannot receive buffs, so his damage output is consistent. If there's a unit he cannot kill, he's prone to getting stuck. Another weakness of Seto is that he only has a single attack tile, so while he can be incredibly annoying and difficult to kill, he can only chip away teams bit by bit. I'll go over what Seto counters. Seto's basic attack is effective against any unit that does not have an HP value that goes over 20,000. Damage reduction and defense are not factors, since Seto is primarily dealing fixed damage. Many units that rely on defense for survivability do not have high health values, making them easy pickings for Seto. Examples being Angelica, Eden, Dalvi, Nartis, and Levia. Because Seto's counter is also fixed damage, he can kill the same units with his counter that he would with his regular attack. Seto begins to have troubles killing any unit that has very high HP. Benshina and Cowley can hold off Seto, but must be careful if they duel him. Both Benshina and Cowley are not debuff immune, so they will accumulate a lot of burn damage if they keep attacking Seto. Seto can also get stuck temporarily against any unit with some guard mechanic. Glacia is effective at holding Seto at bay, and her counter can chip away at Seto's life whenever he attacks. If Glacia ends up attacking Seto, however, she is likely dead. As with other guard mechanics, Lucius Death Guard and your own Seto can keep an enemy Seto at bay. Seto can also be stalled by Belieth in some circumstances, as the skeletons can hold him off and chip away at his life. Seto will not regenerate life if he kills an enemy with a Belieth buff, since it doesn't count as a kill when the enemy resurrects to a skeleton. If he attacks the skeleton's suicide counter will activate, and Seto will not regenerate life as he technically did not get the kill on the attack. The most prominent counter currently in the meta is Valtor, whose incredibly high HP, DOT immunity, and impressive regeneration is enough to tank hits from Seto. Valtor gets more max HP with every attack, so if another unit does not remove Valtor, Seto is stuck. I'll go over some Seto counters now. Seto is very difficult to counter due to his difficulty to be one-shot. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of the time you'll be stalling him and chipping away at him with your own units that can tank his counter. There are a few answers though, some of them easier than others. As mentioned prior, units that can chip away at Seto while tanking him are the general best counters. Lucius, Valtor, Granhilder, and your own Seto are good for this purpose. Levia at plus 12 gains the ability to ignore guard skills with her attack, which allows her to one-shot Seto. The issue is that Seto must be the main target of her ability, and she is likely dead from the counter afterwards. Velfern is a powerful counter because while he only attacks once every other turn, his additional damage can multi-hit. Let me provide a visual for this one. In this situation, my Seto is plus 14, so he takes 11% max HP per hit. My Seto has only been hit once so far, so he's at 89% life. Velfern's third skill allows him to deal additional damage for each grave on both sides. In this situation there are 7 graves, so Velfern gets a total of 8 individual damage sources, if you count his main attack as well. Velfern dealt 88% of my Seto's life, just because he triggers Seto's Flame Guard 8 times with just one attack, leaving my Seto with 1% health left and at a killing point from any damage source. Hypothetically, if there are 10 graves on the field, Velfern could one-shot Seto from 100% life. A more unique counter is the use of Belieth with multi-hits. A multi-hit unit that strikes Seto once is likely to immediately die and only get one hit off. Belieth's skeleton buff technically keeps the units alive by resurrecting them, which allows them to fully finish their entire sequence of attacks before becoming a skeleton. With this in mind, it opens up some options. Catherine deals 6 hits, and each hit has an additional damage bonus, which adds to 12 overall damage sources. With Belieth buff, she one-shots Seto. Christina works similarly with 5 hits, and each hit of her attack having additional damage, totaling for 10 ticks of Seto's Flame Guard. Other multi-hitters won't do enough damage to one-shot Seto through his Flame Guard, but can still chip away a lot of his life, such as Wilhelmina, Nia, Dr. Morgan, and even Ingrid. Remember, all multi-hitters need to have Belieth buff. She's the core of making the multi-hit option viable. Beyond that, there's not a lot of options currently to work with. Raphithia can buff your units to have a reflect, which will cause Seto to slowly chip away at his own life. You can throw fodder onto him and hope he doesn't recover his own life by killing something, but that's an ugly strategy, and a losing one as well. Also, for the sake of mentioning, Asmode won't kill Seto, but you'll at least get one tick off of him without dying to the counter. What a very strong unit that Asmode guy is. So, some synergies with Seto. Seto prefers allies that can effectively cover high HP roadblocks that he may get stuck on. Angelica is a warrior who can one-shot enemies regardless of their health, making her the best teammate for Seto. Levia is not only just good at killing units regardless of their max HP, but she has a set synergy with Seto that provides 8% attack. Throw in Lucius into your composition and Seto now gains a nifty 25% attack bonus. Frisia is another option to clear out high HP units. Ventana can remove high HP tanks that have taunt, such as Banshina and Granhilder. If you can remove the big tanks that can get Seto stuck, he could proceed to chip away at the rest of the enemy team. Alright, so for my opinion. Seto without a doubt is the most buffed up character this game has seen. He was very mediocre prior to the companion patch, but that didn't stop specialists from doing well in regular arena, or people winning UA tournaments with them. Wink wink. Now he's very crazy. He's the only character that reached 100% usage rate among top 500 users in Korea. It wasn't even 100%, it was 100.2%. He's so good, he actually went over 100% usage somehow. Seto is difficult to properly counter because his counters are not traditional true counters. They're just holding him in place and trying to slowly kill him. It's true that Valtor can stall Seto, but if a buffed up Eden or Levia hits your Valtor, that Seto is free and unhinged to kill the rest of your team. Chipping him down is cumbersome, and if he kills something, you gotta start from 100% HP again. This character is actually bonkers. Seto is very valuable in all PvP content. Guild War, Underground Arena, Regular Arena, and probably World Arena once you can compete in it. He's really good in all PvE content as well. Now here's the thing. Seto is offered as a free character in the Jumpstart 2 quests, both for veterans and beginners alike. As a result, you may see him a lot. Personally though, I don't really mind. I built him months prior before the Octo announcement for the sole reason that he looks cool to me. I mean, look at that shirt. Look at the way he's holding a sword. Look at that dragon. Wait, actually that dragon's hella small though. But yeah, if you don't have him and you intend to play for the next few months, you should definitely get him. You ideally want him at plus 12, which means to pull for 3 of his companions or 2 of his companions and have his soul gear maxed out. His plus 13 to plus 15 skill ups are all buffed to his counters, which is a very nice thing, but it's definitely overkill at plus 15, and it's hard to see the improvement from 14 to 15. Overall, Seto is probably one of the most powerful characters that Brave 9 has ever seen in a long time. I can imagine him remaining this way for a long time coming. Seto will remain good unless they release more Baltor-like units or units that can bypass Flame Guard. Thank you for watching my Seto Spotlight. I hope to feature other characters in the future. Please subscribe and like this video if it was helpful to you. I'll see you guys later.